another fun release from Tailored Expressions, and it is one that is merry and bright. I wore my special holiday shirt for you guys to kick off, actually to round out our Christmas in July. So it's the last Tuesday of the month, which means we have a new kit for you, and you are gonna love it. I have been so excited to share this with you guys. And we're going to get to it in just a minute, but I want to make sure everybody is aware that this is a pre-recorded live. So I'm actually on vacation while you're watching this, and in a perfect storm of summer vacations, Heather and Susan are also on vacation. And so this is a pre-recorded event. You can still comment along as if we're live, and I am going to be in the comments just monitoring and responding back and kind of following along with the live with you guys. So feel free to comment as you normally would, but unfortunately I can't answer questions live with my voice because this is pre-recorded. So I will be able to answer your questions in comments though, so if you have them, feel free to leave them. All right, so should we get started with our special kit for this month? We do this every July. We design a Christmas in July themed kit for you guys, just to kind of kickstart your holiday card making, and I can't wait to share it with you. Heather has just pulled out all the stops and really created the most wonderful holiday kit that is also versatile. I'm going to show you guys how you can use it not just for Christmas, but for occasions far and wide beyond that. So let's take a look at some of the inspiration from the design team, and then of course we'll talk through the kit contents as well. I'm gonna start by showing you guys these things, see if you can guess what our theme is. Of course, if you've already been on the website or gotten your email this morning, maybe you've gotten your kit. Raise your hand, leave us a comment. If you have already picked up your kit, then you know the theme of this month's kit and the name of this month's kit is Sweater Weather. Isn't that so cute? Sweaters for all occasions. Like I said, we're going to be diving in not just for the holidays, but these are useful with lots of different color combinations that you can get crafty for lots of different seasons and occasions. So let's pull out the contents of this kit. Actually, I'm going to pull up a graphic for you here while I get all of the elements out so you can take a look at that. So $69 is the cost of this kit, and it is all built around the Sweater Weather stencil, clear, and die combo. We did it all in one product. So we have this here for you. The stencils will create the designs on the sweaters. Then you can add extra details if you want to using the clear stamps. And then we have here the die that cuts out those sweaters. So all three of those products are just in this one package, and I'm gonna, of course, show you how to use those today when we get crafty together. So next up, sentiments. Those are always a good thing to have, especially when we have a special themed kit. You want to have sentiments that go perfectly with those images. So we have, may your sweaters be ugly and bright. It's sweater season, stay cozy, let it snow, be merry, baby it's cold outside, and then there's a little burr and warm winter wishes as well. So lots of sentiments to choose from in that set. Then we have dinky decorations. So this is a fun little set of tiny elements. If you're thinking ugly Christmas sweaters and you think about how they kind of have gigantic imagery on them, this is what we had in mind with this set. Now, the imagery isn't gaudy or outlandish. It's just your cute little snowmen and Christmas trees and pine or poinsettias. There's a snowflake and some holly in there as well. But these, I will show you some samples from the design team. These look super cute on top of the sweaters and just add that extra pizzazz. And then, as with all of our kits, we have our sending joy and holiday cheer to last you all throughout the year. That's one of the sentiments in the Insider's Sweater Weather set. So we have 6 different panels in this one, and there are 2 of each of those. Now there is one other thing included in this kit that's not pictured, and that's our inspiration color cards. So because this was pre-recorded, we don't have the inspiration finished for those yet, but each kit comes with a set of 4 color cards that you can use for inspiration. They have design team projects and color combinations on them. So you will also receive those in your kit. There are always things that come if you like to, add versatility to your kit. There are always things that come outside of the kit that you can add on if you choose. So let's talk about some of those things. And we're going to talk about this one first. This is Sweater Sayings, and it is a die set that works with the sentiments. So we've got those sentiments that can be cut out with these coordinating dies. So you get the sentiment set in the kit, and then the dies can be added on. Then we also have this one. This is called Dotted Snowfall, and it is a background stamp. We've had different snowfall and snowflake stamp backgrounds in our collection in the past, and recently we've been wanting something a little bit more, we'll call it minimalist. And that's what this background is, and it just gives you that perfect little dotting of snowfall. And then we've got Foilet Sweater Weather. So of course, adding details to those sweaters is going to be one of the most fun parts of this kit, just being able to customize the sweaters a little bit. And these foilets give you options for adding different patterns, foiled patterns, to your sweaters. And they are set up as a 6x6 so that you can use them with the sweater stencils and just place those over the top of the foiled designs, and then you can stencil them. So that is Foilet Sweater Weather. There are 12 pieces in here for each of these 3 designs. So 12 sheets, and each one makes 4 sweaters. You can get 48 foiled sweaters out of one of these packs of foilets. Love it. Okay, then last, well, not quite last. So also available outside of the kit, if you want, you can purchase the additional insiders packets. So if you love these sentiments and you want to maybe use this for your Christmas card this year, you might want to grab extra packs of these pre-printed sentiments. So that is also available outside of the kit. Then last but not least, we have the most adorable Sweater Weather envelope seals. Look at those cute little sweaters. I have Whitney here for me today, or with me today. I feel like you want to eek about these too.
I want to eek.
I didn't want to.
Like 20 packs of them just so I can eek them everywhere. I'm like, who needs happiness?
Who needs a little sweater in their lives? They are just so cute. So we went with the little snowman decor on the front of this one, and then you have the Christmas tree on this one, which I think are both so cute. I love them. And they are available for purchase separately from the kit if you want to match your envelope seal with your card, or you can even use them on your card if you wanted to do that. So 10 of them come in a pack. So now that you've seen all of the products, let's take a look at some of the design team samples. They have once again knocked it out of the park because this is pre-recorded. I don't have a ton of samples like I maybe normally would, but definitely be checking out the design team blogs. You can go to the Tailored Expressions blog, and you can go directly to their blogs from the TE blog, and that will give you lots of other ideas that you might not be seeing here on the live. So let's talk about this pairing. I love it when they kind of coordinate their projects together. These were created by Jill. Look how cute she did foil her sweaters. We've got the teal foil on the sentiment that's in the insiders pack, and then she did our hot pink foil on the sweater down here at the bottom. I got to get it up to the light so you can see those fun foiled details. I think that's so cute. She also did the dinky decorations on each of them, and put little rhinestones on there. You can really have so much fun decorating these. I think just adding as much detail as you want. So really, really cute from Jill. Then Susan created a pair, and she has one more in a monochromatic color combination on the left. These pretty teals and blues that she put here with the May Your Sweaters Be Ugly and Bright. She stamped one of the images from the clear set onto the sweater, added little tiny diamonds all over the background, and you can see that background that she used is the dotted snowfall that is available for purchase outside of the kit. And then we've got this one where she foiled one of the sentiments from the Insider's pack here and then added a couple of sweaters over the top. So I love that. And then last we have these. Lori Craig got super creative. She was actually the inspiration for the project that we'll be making on the live today. And she used our holiday squad with the Elf, Santa, and Mrs. Claus to create little heads for the sweaters. How cute is that?
Lori Craig, just stop with your adorableness.
Just so cute, Lori. I love that idea, and I don't know why I never would have thought of it, but I never would have thought of it. And thank you for inspiring the project we're gonna make on the live today, because I all of a sudden wanted to check out every single head or animal head or critter head that we have in our collection to see if it would fit with the sweater. So I am happy to report I found some, and they're gonna be super cute. So I also wanted to point out the background that Lori used is our cable knit embossing folder. Another good one to add in with these, with this collection, because you know, when you think of sweaters, you think of cable knit. So really, really cute. I also love how she used our new pear color. That was a new summer color, and when you pair that with, with our cherry pop and cilantro cardstocks, you really get a fun, unique color combination for the holidays. So there's some inspiration for you. Whitney, since you're over there, could you bring my whole collection of sweaters?
Yes.
I forgot to bring them over to the live table here, but I wanted to show you guys. I showed these to Jill, and I texted her, and she said, I have enough sweaters to fill a whole closet. So as you're creating with this sweater kit, I hope you kind of get a kick out of thinking about filling a closet with sweaters. And like I mentioned at the beginning of the live, you can really use these sweaters for lots of occasions, and I did that. I had fun finding things in the TE collection to create sweaters for Valentine's Day, as you see here. The heart die cuts are from our Hang On Hearts die set that we released earlier this year. Just changing up the colors really makes them look like Valentine's Day. And then I added in some clay heart details. I also used some of our glossy white rhinestones and added patterning that way. So I think Valentine's sweaters might be in your future. Another one that I tried were fall sweaters. When you think of sweater weather, I definitely think of fall. So I went with some fallish colors for these little sweaters. I added an acorn, a little mushroom. This is a maple leaf from the leaf coin, and then a little grouping of tiny little maple leaf, oak leaf, and a tiny little acorn. So I think that's super fun. One thing, while I have it up here at the pulled up into the camera, do you guys see that detail down here in the kind of hem of the sweater? So we have incorporated that into the die, those ridge markings that look like ribbing on your sweater. So that's gonna add more dimension without you having to do anything extra. That's just part of the die. And last but not least, I made my favorite holiday sweaters, Halloween sweaters, using obviously Halloween colors. Some of my favorite little ghosties from the Ghost Gang, die and clear combo, and then I used a bat from Little Bits Bats. And then I also, this is where my inspiration came from, Lori Craig. You'll tell there's one sweater missing from this collection, and that's because I made it into a card already. Look at my cute little monster. I think that was such a fun idea, as I mentioned, trying to find different things that could fit coming out of the sweater as a head. Whitney, do you want to grab me that fox over there too? Yes, and I'll share that one. Yes. So this is part of our monster squad, and this particular monster has a great neck that fits perfectly inside of the sweater. So I thought this was a fun little Halloween card, and we're going to make that together today. So you might have been expecting a Christmas card, but you're getting a Halloween card and so many more occasions from this kit. So let me show you also, I found this one that's part of our woodland squad. This is the fox, and look how perfectly he fits in the cute sweater too. So he gets his own little fall sweater. We've got this guy for the Halloween, and we've got Santa and an elf and Mrs. Claus for Christmas sweaters. I think it's all just super fun. So let's get crafty together. You will get an idea of how these products all pair together, and then you get to make the creative decisions and make whatever kind of sweaters you would like. Okay, so we're going to start by creating the background for this card, and this is a stamp we brought out for our Father's Day release, which is called For Him, and it's called Zigs and Zags. It's a 6x6 background stamp. I always envisioned using it for Halloween, and so now I found my first opportunity to do that with this card. And we're going to put that on the lid of the Misty. I have a piece of cardstock that is 4 by 5 1/4. Actually, I lied. I forgot to cut it ahead of time, so it is 4 1/4, but I want it to be 4. So before we stamp it, I will just cut this down to 4 by 5 1/4.
Is there such thing as birthday sweaters?
Probably. You could put a little cupcake on the birthday sweater. Yes.
It's your day.
That would be
Birthday
cute.
sweaters.
Okay, so let's go ahead and put a little bit of adhesive down here on the piece so that I can line this up. I especially like doing this when my background stamp has a definite directionality to it, and I want to make sure that I get kind of centered on there and that my zigzags are straight. So we're just going to close the lid on the back and press down, and then I know that my paper is right where I want it to be. I'm going to use VersaFine Clair for the ink on this background stamp, and it really just gives me a great impression. It's nice and crisp and black, and I usually only have to ink it once. Although on the card I created for you guys today, I did ink it twice just to make it extra super black for Halloween. I didn't go all the way to the edges with my inking because my paper is not quite that big, and I'll just save my ink. Actually, I think that looks just perfect. It does look a little bit dizzying when you first look at it, so it's definitely, unless you're going to do it tone on tone, when you do it in just a single color onto white, it tends to make you a little bit dizzy, but I think when you cover it up with some other things like I did in this project, you will see that it makes a really fun pattern without being overwhelming like it might look now. So we'll keep going. I'm going to set this aside. Now let's go ahead and do our sweaters. I am going to be using the Foilet today, so I'll grab my Mink machine and get that out for you guys. We're going to turn that on to a 3, and I will take my black foil. Now these details on here are already printed in black. I just love the way black foil makes it look really crisp. And so you don't have to foil it. You can use them just black if you would like to. But I am going to foil it because it just gives it that extra pop, especially for Halloween. The glossy black look is really fun. So we're gonna get this inside the carrier sheet here. Make sure I don't have anything kind of coming out the sides. And I might need to cut this foil down just a touch here. Grab my long bladed scissors that are good for that. There we go. All right, so now my foil is completely contained inside my carrier folder, and I have my Foil Magic shim in there. We're gonna wait for this to heat up to a 3, and then we'll foil these. You can also, if you prefer, you can stencil before you foil. I have always said foil first. It's kind of the FF is what I call it. It helps me remember foil first. But we have found over time that our ink does not rub or flake the foil off. So if you want to foil after, you can also do that, because the ink does not, it also does not affect the toner printing. So if you do your stenciling and inking first, you can still foil afterwards. I'm gonna keep going with the FF method, the foil first. It's in my head, it's ingrained, and we'll just wait for this to come through. So the stencils that we'll be using are 6x6. They're gonna line up over the top of the foiled design. Or if you're not using the foilet, you can just line them up with each other and blend and add those little stamp details if you'd like to do it that way. So let's pull this out, and we'll go ahead and let that cool down. Get this one out of the way. And I like to wait until it's kind of cool to the touch. So I'll pull this out, and then we can reveal, peel and reveal. And we'll start with layer 1. I'll get my ink ready here. Let's go ahead, let's do candy corn on the first layer of blending. Okay, so this is now cool to the touch, and we can peel back that foil, and all of those little dots and lines are now foiled. If I can get it there, you can see the reflection in the light, and it's just going to make it look so much more crisp and fun. Okay, so finding the upward, so all of the necks of the sweaters should face this direction, and that's how you know it's going to match up with your stencil, with that item number in the bottom right corner, and you can place that over the top. And I am just kind of scooching it around, making sure. So there is one line here that I want to be covered with foil, and making sure that's centered in there. Then we have, obviously this whole piece has the pattern with the little dots centered inside the zigzag portion. And this one is going to be harder. You're going to have to just kind of allow that to line up on its own based on having the other ones in the correct position. So now we're going to take our teal tape, and we'll tack that down to the surface. And we'll start blending. So is everybody ready for Halloween, or are you feeling more of the Christmas mood with this kit? I know I always talk about how Halloween is one of my favorite holidays, so it's probably not a huge surprise that I'm making a Halloween card out of these sweaters. We do have our Halloween release coming up soon, so there will be new Halloween goodies if you're a Halloween lover like me. I think one of my favorite parts of Halloween is the candy. Also, if you know me, probably no surprise.
Halloween always makes me feel like a kid again. So I love it.
Yes. Do you guys dress up your family? Do you typically make like a family costume or not so much?
We don't do a family costume, but everybody kind of has an idea of what they want to be.
Picks
Our
their
kids
thing.
never choose to be the same thing at the same time.
Yes.
So
I know. I feel like family costumes are more like mandated than they are chosen, because at least my kids, they can never agree on anything. And at the age they are now, they would rather not be matching anymore. So asking them to do something matchy-matchy is probably not going to happen. All right, so a little bit of sweet potato pie. I'm also curious if you are thinking about this. I hope you're thinking about this for Christmas as well. But how many of you have already started your Christmas cards? I know I've seen releases out there for Christmas already, which I'm like, oh my goodness, I am not quite ready myself to think about that. I went to Hobby Lobby the other day and they've got their Christmas stuff out, at least some of it, and I'm not ready for that either. But I know as card makers, we have to think ahead more than maybe other crafts. You can kind of wait to do your handmade gifts when you get closer to the holidays, but the cards, they kind of go out pre-holiday, which means you have to think even farther ahead. And for some of you that are great planners, you started at the beginning of the year and you're already done or decided or those kind of things. So, all right, next we have layer 2 of the stencil. Now with layer 2, you definitely want to pay attention to layer 1, and those cuffs are going to be a great guide for you on getting the next layer of the stencil lined up perfectly with the one that you've already done. Now this particular one, I'm taking some extra care to get it in place. I just want to make sure that it's great and perfect. This one we're going to do with dried fig ink. All right. So the first 2 stencil layers will give you the main colors of your sweaters. So whatever you choose for those first 2 layers is going to be kind of a big part. You can see most of these 2 sweaters are orange and most of these 2 will be purple. And then the last layer is kind of your accent color. Always good to know when you're picking color combinations, kind of thinking about the stencil and how it's designed and laid out so that you get the best results and what you wanted. If you're thinking, oh, I didn't really want big purple sweaters, then think about that ahead of time for which layers to choose your colors for. All right. I'm going to grab one of our new colors as well with these spooky Halloween looking sweaters, and we're going to incorporate some Concord grape into the dimensional blending for this layer. Got to get a good base of dried fig, and then we'll add the darker Concord grape for shading. Okay, let's pick this up. Come on, stencil. There we go. I'm going to save these pieces of tape so I can use those again. And then we'll go ahead and place this down. This one should fall in place really easily. I'm going to go ahead, I didn't do this at the beginning, but I want to put a little bit of adhesive down just so I make sure that paper is staying in place there. And then my stencil goes this direction, so we'll place those down. Making sure again that you're kind of cuffs and hems are all meeting up with each other. This little zigzag design should fit right in place. And then we'll get out the Lime Zest ink. I did not do a dimensional blend on this layer. I just used the Lime Zest. So I'm just gonna go at it with a full strength blend, and we'll be done with our accented piece. Almost. Okay. All right, here's the big reveal. Our cute Halloween sweaters.
Woo!
Oh my goodness. They're adorable. So cute, and you can really see those foiled details shining then when you get them reflected in the light. I will go ahead and clean my spot up here, get this extra ink off of my glass board before we keep going. Okay, get this stencil out of the way. All right, I'm going to bring in then the die for the sweaters. So these are 6x6 pieces. My preference is to cut these apart before I die cut them. Our typical kind of platform for die cutting is 6 inches by 9 inches, and so cutting these down is going to make it a lot easier for you as you cut them apart. You don't risk kind of crumpling or getting one of your corners caught in your die cut machine as you're trying to send it through. So we have created this stencil so you can easily clip the sweaters apart and then line up the die and cut them out. So here is the sweater die. As I mentioned before, you can see those ridges that are built in to create that kind of ribbing detail in the sweater when you die cut it. There is, because of that kind of ribbing that is built into the die, it can be a little bit more tricky to line up the die just with your eyeballs like this, because you can't see all the way to the edge and the top. You can see the sides, and I think I've been able to get good results that way, but occasionally if you're off just a smidge, you may not notice and may not get a perfect cut. So I wanted to show you one of my favorite ways to make sure you're getting a perfect cut every time, and that is using a negative die cut piece. I cut this sweater out of lollipop cardstock. I chose that because it's not any of the colors represented here, which is going to make it easier to line up around the outside of my stenciled sweater. You can see it is a tight cut with not a lot of white space around the edge. And then you can place the, let me get a piece of tape, a couple of them. And I'll bring my die cut machine over here so we're ready for it when I have this ready. Okay, so we are going to place that, like I said, right around the outside of our stenciled image. I am going to take and kind of adhere this template to the sweater paper so that when I take these two, they are together, just like that. And then we're going to take the sweater die and we're going to click it right back into place inside that pink template. It's going to stay there now as we send it through our die cut machine, and this is going to ensure that we have a perfect cut line around the outside of the sweater. And it is not technically cutting through 2 layers of cardstock because we already have the cut through the pink layer, but sometimes I run it back and forth just to make sure that it's kind of smushed down into that second layer, just like that. Whitney, do you think you could bring me my sanding block?
Yes.
So sometimes when you use these templates, especially like you can see here that I have a little bit of pink cardstock that got pressed into my die cut. So to get rid of that, I would just take my sanding block and kind of run it along the edges where I got a little bit of that pink cardstock pressed into the design, and just kind of use my sanding block to get that off. So some of you might not even notice it, but I wanted to make mention of that. One way to stay away from that and not get that would be to use a different colored template, maybe white, but then you're gonna have a little bit harder time seeing exactly where to cut around your sweater. But there's what that looks like. Let's figure out what sweater we're gonna be using. I think we're gonna be using this one today. So let's cut this one out, and then I just need to separate my die here. We can leave that tape on there and then take this off. So this is just garbage. This is where I was saying if you wanted to use this as the template, that would eliminate, getting a different colored cardstock kind of pressed into your die cut. But you can see it is harder to line up because I can't see the white outline with the white template. So I do prefer to move back to this so I can perfectly see when I have that line in place. And then I'll tack that down, click my die into place. It should just stay right there inside that opening like you're putting a puzzle together. And then we'll go ahead and push that through. I won't cut the rest of them while I'm on camera today. Hopefully you get the idea of how that template works. And you can see the cute ridging down here at the bottom and in the top of the neckline as well. Okay, so I have a couple sweaters that I can use to build my cute little monster creature. I did do some die cutting ahead of time, so there's kind of a lot of little pieces involved in this. But don't let that deter you. I love putting together this fun little scene, and it wasn't too tough to do. So let's get out all these pieces. We've got, I don't know what to call these. What are they called on monsters? Antenna? Do monsters have antenna? We need 3 little spiders. So I cut the spiders out of black glossy cardstock. That's going to be another, I think, with Halloween coming up, a highly recommended and often used product around here is the black glossy cardstock. I also have his little mouth already put together with teeth on it. So then also eyeballs. So this little Monster Squad set that I'm using comes with the dies so that you can make your own eyeballs like I did on the card here. Or you can go into your stash of googly eyes and find yourself some cute little googly eyes that fit right over the top just like that. And you've got a cute little Google-eyed monster as well. I had to shop Susan's collection for this googly eye. I had about every other size under the sun except for this particular size that she had. So shop your Google eye collection and you can save yourself a little bit of time that way. Okay, so let's go ahead and adhere some of these pieces down. The eyes that I made are gonna go right here. And then we're gonna put the little bit of glue on the ends of our antenna, and then we can just set the back of the head on top of that. So, Whitney, can you grab my Embelly Jelly?
Yes.
I must have stolen it from here. Thank you. Okay. So we'll go ahead and put these, oh, it's stuck on the adhesive that's on my glass board. There we go. Now I messed those up. Oh, best laid plans, right? It's okay, we'll get through it. All right, so the eyes are down. Now let's put this antenna here in the middle. So there's the middle antenna. Then we have this side antenna. I've already put the adhesive on these, so I'm just kind of positioning the head where I want it and then placing that down. This one, it got flipped over, so we might have to put a little more adhesive on there. And then, oh, I did it again. Okay, then we can put this guy over on this side so he has his 3 little antennae. I'll put some adhesive on the back of the mouth here. And that's going to go between the eyes. Just like that. He's coming together. He's coming to life. Okay, we've got some adhesive on the end of each of the antenna, and I have a few of our orange drip drops, or glitter drops, I guess they are. Orange glitter drops, 1 on each antenna piece. All of these little details that just add extra fun to your cards. We'll set those aside for now. Okay, so my little monster is done. I now need to get his sweater, and we're going to put some little spiders on the sweater. I'll place these down. I thought it was fun, these sweaters that have kind of the vertical line design. It looks almost like cobwebs. Like the spiders are hanging from their web. And these little spiders are from our Little Bits Spiders die set. Now we can pick those up and put a little dot of glue down and then place the spider right back over the top. Last one. All right, we've got our spiders on the sweater. Look at how cute that is. I love it. So fun. Okay, so then my little monster guy, he does need to have about half of his body cut off so that it doesn't show behind the sweater. So we'll go ahead and cut that part off, and then I can take the back of the sweater and we'll put some adhesive up here by the neckline, and then just position this right over the top. There he is. He's so cute. I have a little adhesive on my glass mat, so I gotta pick him off of there. But there is what that looks like. I'm just now realizing too, I told you guys I was gonna do the dried fig and hit that with the Concord grape for dimension, and I didn't do that, but take a look at the difference here. You can see this one has the Concord grape on it, and this one is just dried fig, so it's just a little bit more dimensional, but no harm done. Still super cute little Halloween monster sweater. All right, so then we're bringing back our background piece. I have a couple other pieces here that we're going to use. I have cut out from Sugar Cube cardstock our A2 thin frame stacklets. So I'm going to take that and put some adhesive all the way around the edge of that frame. And then we're just going to adhere that to the glitter cardstock, another one to add to cart before Halloween is here. Black glitter cardstock, orange glitter cardstock, super fun. I find that liquid glue works better than tape runner for adhering to the glitter cardstock. And obviously I have some extra over here on the side, so I'm just going to take my scissors and follow that line along as I trim the excess off of here. Of course, you could cut your cardstock to size and then adhere your frame, but I like this method a little bit better. You're not trying to hit this exactly in the spot then. You have some wiggle room around and then you can just cut it off. Then we're going to take the little monster and I'm going to add some foam tape. I think. Let's put this one on the sleeve here. And we'll pop this up. A little bit of, need a couple smaller pieces. You can just fringe your foam tape to get the size that you need. Almost there. All right. I'm going to angle him just a little bit, overlap the top, and leave some space at the bottom for my sentiment. This is the Ghostly Greetings set, and I'll go ahead and add some more foam tape pieces here. This one needs to be smaller even. Cut that down one more time and put that over on this smaller piece here. All right. We'll overlap that just a little bit on the sweater and off the side. I think it gives it some visual interest when you don't just do everything perfectly centered. And even seeing this is not glued down yet, but even seeing this a little askew is kind of a fun look. So I think I'm going to change that up this time. The card I originally made, I just adhered the panel straight centered on there, but I kind of like this look, which was more of an accident. I wasn't expecting that, but seeing it that way kind of drew my eye. So I'm going to keep going with that. A little bit of adhesive on the back, and we'll go ahead and tilt that this direction. And then I have my card base that I made out of black licorice cardstock. We have two black cardstocks at Tailored Expressions. We have black licorice and we have Oreo. Black licorice is going to be the blackest black that we have. It is super intense. It is a nice heavy weight, and I love using it at Halloween especially because you want that intense black color. We do not have an ink. If you're looking for black licorice ink, it is only available in cardstock. But the Oreo ink that we do have, if you stamp it 2 or 3 times, it's going to work great with the black licorice. So there you have it. My little monster has a friend now, and I have 2 more Halloween cards. So hooray! All right, let me say a proper farewell in my Christmas shirt after making Halloween cards. We're just throwing it all in there today. I hope you loved the Sweater Weather Kit. I hope you love it as much as I do. I hope you can see all the creative possibilities and have fun creating with it. So you can grab your kit on the website, and I will be seeing you again next week.